Let's begin with head coach Rick Santos. Coach, let's start, if we can, with a reflection on winning the state championship in the Granite Bowl at Dartmouth on Saturday.
I was just happy the way that guys went up there and competed. I think that's a very, very tough place to play. Their winning percentage at home over the last decade is extremely high. Very well-coached football team. They're physical on both sides of the ball. We felt like we wanted to go up there, try to establish a ground game on offense, control the clock. Because conversely on the other side of the ball, they do a really good job controlling it and being efficient on offense with the Nick Howard at quarterback. So we felt like it was going to be a game of attrition. It was going to be a game where, whoever held the ball the most had the chance to win it, and ultimately that was us. Thought our defense had a spirited effort, ran to the football, tackled well, created a couple turnovers. They put it on us a year earlier, so I think those guys had that in their mind and circled kind of all year that was sort of a revenge game for us, and they played that well. Coach Garrett Gillick had the guys dialed up and put together a really, really efficient and elite game plan. So just overall, very happy with the way we played. You look at offensively, though, there's always teachable moments. Happy there's some learning experiences in a win. We got shut out in the second half. Just a couple uncharacteristic mistakes on our part. We had them down there to go up 21-0, first and goal on the 2. Had a run pass option. Max decided to throw it, and ultimately, as coaches, we should have killed the RPO, assured that he handed the ball off right there. So that's ultimately on me. Resulted in an interception. And then on 4th and 2, we went for it on about the 30-yard line going in, and we had a missed assignment, try to get a reverse call that ultimately would have been a really good look, potentially scored. So I think we squandered some opportunities, but ultimately found a way to win in a tough environment. It's always great.
All right, questions for Coach?
What happened with Dylan Laube, and where are you this week?
His shoulders was a little nicked up from the last few weeks. That's something he's kind of been dealing with, to be honest, for like the last month. He's just a tough football player, very physical in nature, and refused to kind of come out. And we had him. We practiced all week in limited reps. We were trying to rest him. He was a game time decision. He dressed. He wanted to go, but we just felt like we still had a lot of highly competitive football to go, in particular when we got back into CAA play, so we felt like we needed to rest him that week and decided to do that right at game day. And Isaac Seid did a phenomenal job preparing all week. He took a lot of the starting reps all week, and we felt like if we needed to go that way, he was going to give us a spark and be efficient, and he certainly was. I think he was getting his feet underneath him in the first half, and then I think he ran for about over 100 yards in the second half. So I think once he got the feel of it and got a little more confident as the game went along, it was really great to see.
He'll go this week, Rick, or do you?
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
Rick, can you assess where Max is at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think he's doing a great job. I mean, barring a couple silly decisions, I think he's really doing a great job protecting the football. He's efficient with it. The offense has changed quite a bit since he played in his freshman year, and then obviously he missed, a whole season, almost 2 years worth of playing. So I think coming in, didn't get any of those reps in the spring with the new offense. A couple of new moving pieces in terms of us moving guys around with the offensive skill position. So I think he's now finally starting to get a good feel for out there and the timing with the different receiving groups and personnel groups that we have. So just very happy with the way he's seeing the football in particular. I think even more impressive is his leadership ability and the way that he's commanding guys every week during practice. We harp staying in the moment, practicing the right way, and I think he embodies that. And I think if you're going to be a successful football team, you'd love for your quarterback to be one of your best leaders, and he is that.
How about Miles Thomason? We saw he was dressed last week, didn't come into the game. Was he nicked up as well, or was that just getting game to Seid? Or
turf toe type of thing? It was pretty sore on game day, so I think that was something we felt like we had to kind of give him a rest there. We were seeing how it was going to progress as the week went along, kind of got worse as he practiced harder, so we shut him down as well. He did practice in a limited role yesterday, said he's feeling a lot better today after talking to him, so he should be good to go as well.
So looking at Elon, they cause a lot of fumbles, and they've had a lot of good luck recovering those fumbles.
Yeah.
You guys last week had some good fumble, like put the ball on the ground 3 times but recovered the ball. Is there anything different you do this week to get ready for something like that, or is it just an emphasis on executing when you have the ball?
Well, I mean, we've been starting the week with it on Tuesday and finishing on Thursday with, a turnover circuit, in particular on the offensive side of the ball, making sure we got 3 or 4 drills that we do every week to make sure that we're protecting it. Hopefully it shows up more than it has in the last few weeks. I think, it's a mentality. We say ball is the program. That's kind of a thought process that we have. We need to have that more than ever this week. I think they've got 13 or 14 out, recovered 10 of them, and I think they have another 3 or 4 interceptions as well. So they're first or second in the conference in turnover margin. We are, I think, second to last. So that's definitely an emphasis. That's one of the things we've done a poor job this year is protecting the football and not creating enough. So I think that's going to be a huge determining factor here, is winning the turnover battle. I think the team who does that has a really good shot of winning this football game.
The turnovers they create, they look like a lot of them are happenstance, or are they actually?
Some of them are kind of, mishaps on the opposing offense, but I think a lot of it is just they're really physical when they tackle. You can tell Coach Trisciani's a defensive-minded guy. I'm sure they practice it quite a bit. The first guy's in, he wraps up, and the second, third, fourth guy come in and they punch at the football, they rake at it. It's certainly part of their defensive strategy. It's evident when you turn on the tape. So I think I'm sure they're practicing it all the time. It's showing up in game-like situations. So for us, we just have to be cognizant of that. And like every week, obviously protecting the football is the most important thing we do on offense. But I think when a team like this has a unique quality of getting takeaways, there has to be a heightened sense of awareness on our part.
You kind of mentioned on Monday that Coach Trish recruited you to UNH. Is there any way you approach a game different when you know the opposing coach so well and they know you? I mean, maybe not as coaches, but just personally. Do you approach the game differently? Or?
No, I don't think so. I think it's an admiration for everything he's done for me as a student athlete. And a mentor when I was a young coach, and I would call him quite a bit. But I think I think we have to focus on the task at hand. I can't worry about that stuff. I'll give him a warm embrace before the game, but ultimately we need to lace it up. And it's a huge opportunity for our program. I talked to the guys yesterday about it. We're not going to shy away from this. It's the biggest game we've played in 5 years. It's championship implications on the line, and for us, we're going to go there. We don't want to feel like we need to win the championship on Saturday. We want to play like a champion. We want to prepare like champions every single day. But we don't want to shy away from it. We know it's a big moment, and I think it just solidifies the process that we have in place and how our guys have been practicing, the preparation, the film study, how hard we go, and we compete every single day. That's got us to this point. So we just talked about continuing to trust and do what we do and trust the scheme, trust each other, and just go have fun and embrace it. I think that's why these guys came to the University of New Hampshire. That's ultimately why the seniors decided to stay, and a lot of the guys that were contemplating going in the transfer portal didn't. They wanted to come back for moments like this. So, let's work hard to take advantage of it.
Can you address special teams, which have had, I think, a really, really solid year, and how you got to this point?
I think it starts with Coach Garrett McLaughlin. This is the first time in a while we've had a special teams coordinator. Under Coach Mack, there was always 1 or 2 coaches that would take each unit, and they would kind of work that. We gave the lion's share of the work and the game planning to Coach G Mack, and I think he's done a phenomenal job of not only putting good scheme on tape, but he's creative in how he teaches. He does a great job in the way he presents to the guys. We're making it fun. I think we've added some more emphasis on how many times we're going to practice certain things during the week as well. We've added a couple extra meeting times during the week. So it's definitely something we felt like if we were going to play complementary football, we mentioned before we want the offense to protect the defense, controlling the clock, and then also, making plays on teams. I think collectively we're doing a great job collaborating and all working together. So it's all part of it. Some of the statistical categories that we're in the middle of the pack or lower, but I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is finding ways to win, and special teams has been one of the biggest reasons this year.
How important has depth been on the defensive side of the ball? Seems like kind of all 3 levels. You got guys you can bring in. How important is that?
It's been huge. I think it's a great job by the defensive staff understanding their rotations, when to put guys in. in different situations. I think it's a great job by Coach Garrett Gillick of switching up personnel groups. You know, that's something on offense and defense we felt like we were going to do. We had some as much depth as we've had the last few years, so it's getting creative when we get those personnel groups in, how we're going to fit it depending on the scheme that we're facing that week. And then ultimately a little bit of luck as well, and kind of staying healthy so we can continue to do that. So yeah, it's been great, and we're going to continue to. I think also you got to reward the guys that practice well. We've been extremely competitive in practice, and there's a lot of young guys who have earned the right to play.
What do you see from Elon's quarterback, Matthew McKay? The stats say he's played very well this year.
Oh, yeah.
What does the tape say?
Protects the football. He's got a big-time arm. He can throw the ball over. He's got, I think, elite deep ball skills, great touch. Can throw the ball kind of around people, through people, into tight windows, really good anticipation. So it shows he's a student of the game, kind of understands where the receivers are going to be. And I think he's got dynamic playmakers out wide too. You know, Jackson Parnham and Bryson Daughtry, that 1-2 combination is as good as you're going to find at the FCS level. You know, they're big, tall, long, they can run. You know, he'll take chances too, and you give him credit. Like if it's man-to-man or he sees any opportunity to throw up a 50-50 ball, he's going to cut that thing loose and trust that his guys are going to go make plays. So that's something that, you know, we got to be extremely cognizant of on defense is if we're playing man-to-man, if we're pressuring, know he's going to get the ball out of his hands really quick. He doesn't take many sacks. He's going to throw the ball down the field. So I think that's something that's going to determine whether we can win this game or not, is making those contested plays on defense as well, because inevitably they're going to throw up a bunch of it.
Awesome. How about with you?
Good, very good.
All right, next up is defensive tackle Neil Politano. And Neil, before we even look ahead, can you give a few comments on what it meant from the player's perspective to win the game at Dartmouth on Saturday?
It was huge. It was huge, especially after last year. They came here and really dominated the game. They put up 38 points against us last year, and so to put up a goose egg on the scoreboard was huge for us.
All right, questions for Neil?
What do you see so far from Elon when you take a look at their offense?
Up front, they're big. They're big, but we're big up front too, you know. But they really like mid zone. They really like to run the ball, and I think they're going to try and come in here and run the ball on us, and we're going to see how it goes.
You guys did a good job against Dartmouth, and I think overall the defense is just, from our perspective, has gotten better as this season's gone on. What's your view been of that?
I think it starts early in the week, especially on Tuesday and Wednesday. Like, these are the days of the week that really matters. We have the pads on, and these are the days of the week that we really get better. So I think the better that we practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, the better the week's going to go.
What are we seeing out on the field? The experience of the group being together there?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of experience, because me and Dylan Ruiz are first-time starters on the line this year, but Nico and JoJo they tore it up last year, and Nico's been tearing up for 4 years now.
Yeah.
So, and in the back end, Pop Bush, veteran. You know, I think it's just a combination of guys that just love playing together and really want to be on the field.
How tough was it last week preparing for two different quarterbacks maybe, and does it almost make this week seem any easier? You only have one guy you're worried about back there?
That's a good question. Obviously, because they did the same thing last year with the two quarterback system, and it is a little bit difficult, but I think it's good for the defense. It gives us more to work around, and gives us a better opportunity to get comfortable playing in different situations, especially because last week they had a running quarterback and then a passing quarterback, so I think it just strengthens us.
And this guy can do both this week.
Nope. Yeah. Still got to do both. They got a guy that can really run the ball, but he can definitely sling the ball too. So it's same approach, but we just got to keep him in the pocket and keep him contained.
URI did a pretty good job against him last week. Was there anything that, I don't know how much you've watched that game?
Yeah. We've watched the film over the last couple of days. I think they did a really good job. I mean, only holding them to 10 points is pretty big. I think that's going to be really the focal point this week, is just keeping I think it starts with turnovers too. Turnover margin has to be huge this week, and that's how we force the score to be as low as it can be.
How would you describe the difference just as far as morale from this year to last year? Last year it seemed like at this point things are going in the wrong direction, wins and losses wise. This year it seems like every time there's a loss, there's a rebound to it. So how are the guys feeling?
Really good. I would never say morale last year was necessarily low, but I think this year, just taking that feeling of like, hey man, we really don't want to lose. We really want to take what we did last year and say, you know, we don't want that to happen again. I mean, 3 wins last year, 5 wins this year. We're going to keep going. So I think we're stacking, as Santos likes to go 1-0 every week, you know? So just stacking wins, not stacking losses.
Any more for Neil?
How'd you get here?
I walked.
You deserve that, Bob.
I do. All the way from Florida, no. What brought you to the UNH program?
Well, the recruiting process, I mean, for some guys it can be great. Some guys can get a little shady, but I took an unofficial visit back in 2019 when we played Villanova here, and first getting a tour of the school, and the business school is just amazing. But getting a tour of the school and then seeing how the guys play here, and then the old receivers coach, Coach Fuzz, he brought me in the locker room after the game, just seeing the collective energy of both the coaches and the players after, you know, winning. Because I mean, my senior year of high school, we didn't do too high. We won one game. So coming here and just getting that feeling of everyone is just, it's about winning. It's about coming together because you'll get the equal amount of energy from coaches that you do from the players. So for me, that was huge, and that's what made me, because he was walking me out of the field house, and I was like, dude, I want to commit like right now. I want to get here. So that's what brought me here.
That's a good comeback win.
Oh yeah, that was big. Yeah, that interception at the end was huge.
Yep.
And just seeing everyone go up, it was awesome.
When did you commit though? Did you have an offer right then and there?
So I had an offer from the spring of my junior year, which was still 2019, and then going into my senior season. But I was I took it, I was like, wow, like this is for real. Like college football is definitely an opportunity. And then I kind of waited it out just to see. But I mean, once I got here and once I actually saw it with my own eyes, I was like, all right, this is definitely the place for me.
Did your family
Before
just
leaving the weekend?
Yeah. So I came in the locker room after the game. Everyone was celebrating, and then my recruiting coach was walking me out. I was like, I want to commit right here.
Does your family get to see you play much?
So they watch on Flo Sports a lot, but they're coming this weekend for family weekend. They like to come up like 2 to 3 times a year. I mean, my mom especially, she loves seeing me. So they try to see me as much as they can, but both my parents work. But yeah, I would say 2 to 3 times a year in person. And my mom's going to I was born in Virginia, so she's going to the Richmond game too, for the other friends and family.
Isaac, can we begin with comments on the win against Dartmouth the other day?
It was a hard-fought win. We were glad to go ahead and get the trophy back to the best team in New Hampshire, and feeling pretty good about that.
Excellent. How about questions for Isaac?
And you want to tell us what happened there in the Dartmouth game, in particular, address your performance or got better as the game went along?
Yeah, I think that early on in the first half, I think mentally I was just, not running like my usual self, and not really trusting in my guys up front. But I kind of just turned on the switch in the second half with the help of my coaches, just getting me mentally right. Started trusting in my guys up front and just started making all the right hits, and everything was falling into place.
Did you have a sense that you were going to be the main guy on Saturday?
Yeah, I did, because our other running backs were pretty banged up. So it was just about just doing what I've been doing all season, just being ready for any opportunity that I get.
Isaac, Elon's been really good at creating or getting turnovers this year. I'm just curious if the coaches have been on you guys to protect the ball more this week than a typical week. Has that been
Yeah, we're definitely aware of their ability to create turnovers, especially forcing fumbles. We work ball security as part of our practices, every single week, multiple times throughout the week. So it's definitely been emphasized this week.
more so than usual, would you say, or do you guys just do that regardless?
We do it regardless, yeah.
What do you see from Elon's defense, looking at him on film?
They look very solid. They look very solid. It's a very respectable team. This is going to be a really good game. We are looking to really set the pace early on as an offense to get things going and just to really execute, especially down in the red zone.
Coach Santos spoke about wanting to instill this week a championship mentality throughout the team. What does that mean to you?
To me, this is, obviously looking at the standings in the conference. It's one of the bigger games for a lot of us on this team. This is one of the biggest games that we've played in years, and so he's just been instilling in us that these are the types of games that we come to UNH to play in these big time games. So it's just about executing.
Did you have games like this in high school?
Personally, yeah, I did definitely. I was fortunate enough to play in the state championship game back in Massachusetts.
At Everett?
Actually at Melrose.
Melrose.
Yep.
So you say that one of the biggest games of the year, well, I mean, I know it's been one practice, but what was practice like yesterday? What's sort of the mood and how hyped is everybody?
It was just high energy. Everyone's just ready it's just about setting the tone early on, going out and being on the attack, being on the offensive, as opposed to reactive. So it was definitely an electric practice, and we're looking to replicate that today.
And overall, kind of big picture, how would you assess where the offense is right now, sort of where you come from preseason to where the offense is right now?
I think we're looking very good. Our chemistry is a lot better. We're timing things up right between the quarterbacks and the receivers. Everyone's we're just constantly getting better. That has been really the mentality, is that we can only go up from where we currently are. So.
Was it difficult early in the season when it was kind of Dylan getting like all the carries and you would come in maybe for play here and there? Was it difficult to maintain your mental focus, keep sharp during that, or how did that go?
I mean, there are some challenges. I think it's human nature to kind of, when things aren't going your way, to kind of check out mentally. But it was definitely a fight to stay mentally ready, to practice hard every day, and to just be ready for my opportunity.
And how is the running back room? How do you guys pick each other up? Talk to me about that a little bit.
We have good chemistry, a lot of laughs. We're really close friends, even outside of just football. We could see certain plays on the field. Even during the game last week, I would be making certain hits, and Dylan and Miles and some of the other running backs would kind of tell me things that they were seeing that I possibly wasn't seeing. So we're very supportive of each other.